How's it going, guys? Josh here, Scythe Cards. It's been a little while, a little over a month. I have been wanting to make videos. I really just haven't had any content that I really wanted to post about. We live in a world where luckily there's so many creative and really good content creators that really cover a lot of things. It's very hard to have an original idea. That's something I'm not the best at. But in a way, this is an original idea. This video, this deck profile, I just won a Back to Duel event, woo woo. I got this beautiful Live Twin playmat, and I did it playing something that I love. I played it a while ago. It's Kozmo. Kozmo is definitely one of those strategies that kind of got forgotten with time. Just over the years, we keep getting new powerful cards and decks, and Kozmo was just one of those decks that kind of fell off really hard when it did. Just we saw Kozmo everywhere, and then all of a sudden we saw no Kozmo. And I just really wanted to play the deck just because of my memory of it. I had so much fun, and I updated it to a little bit current. I mean, it's not that easy to do. You can't put the Brave cards in there. You kind of need them. But I played it, and it went really well. I am actually very happy with the results, and I have some cool little things in the deck and some explaining to do on some things. So we're going to get right into it because I'm very excited to show off this Kozmo deck list in 2022.
So, we're going to start off with 3 Tin Can. We love Tin Can. He was strong back in the day, and he's very meh now. Reveal 3 random Kozmo cards during the end phase. Your opponent adds 1 to your hand. All for the low cost of 500 life points. Also, a lot of people just don't know what Kozmo cards do. I encountered a lot of opponents that just had to read all my cards and had to ask me a ton of questions on how they worked. So I do kind of want to talk about them a little bit. Just a brief explanation. And if you don't know, all the Psychic Kozmos can banish a bigger Kozmo from your hand. And all the machines, when they're destroyed, you can banish the special lower Kozmo from your deck. So the Psychics go up higher in your hand, and the machines go lower from your deck. Very strong cards. So 3 Tin Can. Strawman. He pays 5 to special banish Kozmo. Perfect for linking or just killing your opponent from summoning a Dark Destroyer. Very good card. Then a Sword Trooper. He pays 1,000 to special 1 from your graveyard. If you're familiar with Fire King Kozmo, this card used to pay around 4,000 to 5,000 life points, so you could do your board of maybe 2 negates. Very old card, very fun card. Then 2 Farm Girl. A lot of people don't know what this is, so when you e-telly, they don't really do or think too much about it. But you summon Farm Girl in the battle phase, and you proceed to kill your opponent just because when it inflicts damage, you pay 5 to add a Kozmo card from your deck to your hand. And if you can't kill him, you can add a card like Kozmo Town or Mojo, and that card is just like way too strong. You can just search a game-changing card. And then a Good Witch. This card just outs the Sword Soul board. You can use its effect, target the Baron to book it. They have to negate it if they want, or else Baron goes face down. You could just banish it to special card like Dark Destroyer from your hand. So a very good Kozmo, and you know, it might not even be that good of a Kozmo. I just think right now it's pretty good. And she's got a lightsaber. She's pretty sweet. And then for the last Psychic Kozmo, I play a Dark Lady. Pay 1,000, negate a monster effect. One of the only real things as a good contender for this deck. And that is it for my Psychic Kozmos. The idea of a Kozmo deck is not the same as one was before. Having a lot of Kozmo cards is kind of going to weigh our deck down a little bit, which you will see in my 2 Slip Runner to pop a spell or trap when it's summoned, and then 3 Dark Destroyer. And this is going to be it for my Machine Kozmos. I did find myself wanting the level 6, the one that makes a token. It's a dark, and it's just another one that can float into Dark Lady, and maybe even playing 2 Dark Lady. But I think these were perfect to just have in the deck. I do kind of want to consider playing a 6 and maybe a 7 ship just so I can guarantee the float into Dark Lady, but I would just be putting so many ships into my deck, and that's not really what I wanted to do. I wanted to play one of my favorite decks, but sadly I had to make adjustments. One of those adjustments being Scythe. This card is just way too good in this format. This deck respects Scythe a lot, just not going into the extra deck too much. You can still just normal summon your Tin Can, maybe banish for a Dark Destroyer, and that does a decent amount against the Scythe board. So Scythe, because we can pop it and summon it. And then just a going second card, Radian. I don't play any hand traps, so this was just a thing that I could draw into that would be good. Typically there's 2 negates on the board, but it really just depends on the matchup. Hitting the Battle Butler is pretty cool. And just having that on-the-spot removal which is also a dark. I thought that was enough, and it proved to be enough. That is it for my monsters. For the spells, just 3 Kozmo Town. I don't play the Terraforming just because it's just one of those cards where playing into a board, it's just almost acts as like a dead card. The deck already has enough dead cards playing into a board where I didn't want to play too much, but I still wanted to have it in my deck just because it is a very strong card. Adding our Banished Cosmos, when it's destroyed, you search your deck for a Cosmo card, or just Magical Malleting away our Cosmos in hand. So it still helps a lot, but I just don't see it as the card that it was way back when. And then 3 E-Telly. E-Telly being one of the reasons why I think this deck was able to do well for me in that event. Special any of them from the deck. We have some pretty good ones to special. We're just going to kill our opponent if we hit the Farm Girl. And then just 3 Allure. I used to play Extravagance, but I go into my extra deck a little more now than I did before. So I didn't really want to banish like the cards that I thought were like super good. And this card is also just kind of a combo card in this deck. I hate calling it a combo card, but you can banish your Dark Destroyer and then add it back with Town. So pretty good, pretty good. That is it for the spells, just 9 spells in total, 3, 3, 3. And then I play for the traps, 3 Cosmojo. I could see playing 2. It's like a hard once per turn, so you don't want to see 2 of this. You kind of need all of your trap cards going first to secure the win, like give you another turn to attack and kill your opponent. But, you know, it's still like a non-target banish, which is really good, and it floats down. It's just not one of those cards that kind of it was decent then, but it's not decent now. It did not survive very well through powerful cards, but it does banish the DP non-targeting. That is beautiful. Then 3 Sanctum to bring out our Scythe. I just play the 1 Scythe, no Moral Talk, just because I didn't want to play too many of those cards. When you brick with this deck really hard, so didn't really want to do that. 2 back to the front, bring back our Scythe, just bring back a Dark Destroyer. It just serves as like a pop, or even in the gate if we can get the Dark Lady out. Then I played some Solemn cards. I played 3 Strike, Warning, and 3 Judgment. I used to have 3 Warning, but we're just paying so many life points. You're just going to blow yourself out of life points. Solemn Judgment, just because people side in some pretty hateful cards for my deck, so got to be able to save on my back row. And then Strike. This card is good going first or second in my opinion, so I really like Strike. And then for the last trap, just 3 there, can only be 1. It works perfectly with our deck. We have Psychics and Machines, so very good card. And we all know what the trap cards do, so I didn't really want to talk about them too much. Onto the side deck. You can side really whatever you want. I had an idea in my head, and I used it, and it worked out well. I'm not saying that this side deck is correct. You definitely want to build it for what your competition is. So I played Duster, I played Regeki. These 2 mainly just because, the Regeki because I only had a Regeki like on hand, but the Duster just because it's Duster. And then I was already playing Kaijus in my main deck, so I played 4 additional ones and 3 Slumber. So that's half of my side deck. It's just dedicated to Kaijus. You can crash your ships into them like Doggeran, your Dark Destroyer, bring out a Farm Girl. Beautiful. And just because I think the Kaiju cards are really fun. They're funny for me, not so much my opponent when they get Gamma Sealed, but yeah, I like the Kaijus, that's all I can say. And then 3 Imperm. Going first, if I wanted to put it in, it was fine. Like, because there's like a lot of decks where this card just isn't that strong as it could be. So Imperm was just another card to where going second, I could put it in, deal with something if I draw it, and just like maybe hit like a strong card like a Hulk. And then just also going first, I could put this in and take out cards like against Prank Kids. I could take this out and put in Imperm. But Imperm's not even that good against Prank Kids. I don't know why I suggested it. But then the last card was 3 Trap Trick, just to have an additional copy. 3 of them exactly, of so many cards like Back to the Front, Mojo, Sanctum, just so many strong cards. And just having access to like any of them at the moment's notice, beautiful. And then for the extra deck, this was another situation where you could be playing better cards, but I'm going to show you the cards I made the most. Dark and Lina. These cards are always just like super live in this format. Summon DPE, summon a light monster. I don't have any too strong offhand, but just because of Sword Trooper can special summon your light Cosmos and then just go into one of these guys. So you have a dark and a light. It's perfect. An IP, just because it's IP, we can link on our opponent's turn, and good thing to just put cards into. I did play a little Zeus. I played the Break Sword as my 3, a Downard, and then the Zeus just for a 2 material Zeus. I thought it was a good call. These 3 cards, Unicorn is Unicorn, Phoenix is Phoenix, and then I don't think of any situations where this is relevant, but it could be one day. Omega for Maximus, and this was the only thing I had in my binder to put in if I got Maximus. These two cards, for some unknown reason, definitely don't need them, but I just really wasn't going in my extra deck other than like Boral Sword is like the last main card that I made. You could be playing Access Code, you could be playing cards like Hulk to summon like a Veiler from your deck, and then go into Selene, and then going into Access Code, but I chose to just play Boral Sword. And then the last two cards, I had two artifact cards in my extra deck. I had a Dagda and a Durandal. I never made the Durandal, and I never made the Dagda, but man, did they seem good, especially if I got Drolled. I was like, man, I really want Durandal in my deck. So, that is it for my extra deck. Like I said, I didn't really want to talk about it too much. You could be doing better things than I was, but my goal was to have fun, and that's exactly what I did. I had so much fun playing the deck. I got to teach people what it did, and I got to just have a good time playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's something I feel like is kind of hard these days when everybody's playing the best Scythe decks and you're trying to play your mediocre extra deck making deck. I don't know why I said it like that, but it was just like a blast from the past that I really enjoyed, and I was so happy to normal summon Tin Can, set 3 cards, and in my turn. It felt awesome. So that is it for the deck. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's some new content in a world where we have all the content we could ever want for this game. Well, of course, the tokens. I got my Sasha, my Lisbeths, and my Polka. So boom, that is going to be it for the deck. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.